Welcome to Zimmerman Podcast, episode 113. Today is week 1 in our brand new series, The Path Back to You. If you're new here, we're taking 52 weeks to discover how to become who we're meant to be. Each month, we dive into a new topic, and this month is all about energy. Today, we're talking about how everything is energy. Let's get started and take this next step on the path back to you. All right, you ready? Let's do it. I'm Jessica Zimmerman, and this is Zimmerman Podcast. I'm a serial entrepreneur, mom to 3, and professional oversharer who has spent a decade building my business and helping others do the same. From wedding floral design to business education, features in Martha Stewart Weddings and Forbes magazine, and even writing and publishing my best-selling memoir, Sleeping with a Stranger, my business has kept growing, evolving, and changing year after year, just like me. Because the best thing about building a strong business is the freedom it gives me to live a full life. And that's what Zimmerman Podcast is all about, sharing real, transparent, in-the-moment reflections about how to live a life, build a business, and lead a family through the good, the hard, and the messy. That's what we're doing each week, right here on Zimmerman Podcast. Welcome to the show. Growing up, I didn't like school. Stiff, sequential, rigid classes with rules for arithmetic and grammar frustrated me. I was much more visual. I enjoyed photography. I liked learning how to design pages for a yearbook, and I felt challenged by making copy fit into a newspaper layout. If I'd been paying attention, I'm sure I'd pick up on the fact that you learn math the way you learn most things in life, in these big blocks of concepts that you can then learn to build upon each other. In some ways, I wish I didn't have to start this incredible year and this transformative series with a topic I believe many will be tempted to ignore. But it is the foundation. It's that first row of building blocks. And I'm sure at some point in school, while I was ignoring my math teacher and evidently snoozing my way through science, a teacher taught me about energy. But I don't remember any of it. Or at least I didn't learn it in a way that made sense to me. I remember when I launched my business course, The Game Plan, a husband of one of my students reached out to me. He was a CPA, a total numbers guy, and she was a floral designer, free spirit, creative type. He emailed to say, I have been trying for 6 years to explain accounting and numbers to my wife. I don't know how you did it, but she just finished your course, and we are finally on the same page. It's as if I was speaking Chinese and she was speaking Spanish, and somehow, some way, you translated in a way that made sense to her. I can't thank you enough. Our personal finances are finally on track. Her business finances are finally improving. Thank you for explaining this to her in a way that she understands. That's what I hope to achieve with this month's topic of energy. If you're anything like me a few years ago, then you probably see the word energy and want to not listen any further. I totally get it. If you're like me now, you might hear the topic of energy and cannot wait to hear more because you just can't get enough of the subject. But I know that there are some of us who are curious and ready to learn what energy is and how it interacts with our reality. And this is for them. And I know for sure that without a good foundation, nothing else matters. My goal is to share my experience with learning about energy in a way that is simple, entertaining, and eye-opening. Nothing else I share this year will make sense without this conversation about energy. So here we go. Everything is energy. And I do mean everything. I am made up of energy. You are made up of energy. The computer I am reading from right now is made up of energy. We're all made up of atoms that contain protons and neutrons with electrons firing around them. The very building blocks of who we are can be distilled into movement or vibrations. If this computer and if we vibrated at the same frequency, my hands would fall straight through the keyboard. But we don't. Because of the electromagnetic push and pull of all these tiny atoms, different things vibrate at different frequencies. So I'm able to type and share this content with you. When you are operating at a lower vibration, you are living your life and operating from a place of fear. When you are operating at a higher vibration, you are living your life and operating your life from a place of love. That's why, especially more recently, or maybe in the 70s, you'd hear phrases like good vibes only, or chill vibes, or I'm just vibing. Higher vibrations are the goal. When I think about energy in the context of my faith tradition, I think about how the goal of life is presence with God, to become more like God. And God is the absolute highest vibration of energy. Imagine the brightest, clearest, whitest light. Imagine the most love you've ever felt or perhaps ever imagined. There is no judgment. There is no shame, no guilt, no fear. There is only compassion. There is only understanding. There is only unconditional love. We know this kind of love deep, deep, deep down in our soul. We know it because we come from it. We were made from it. That means when we hear we were made in God's image, we were made from and with unconditional love. This is what our soul knows. This is what we felt when our soul's earthly home, our body, was being formed by the Creator in our mother's womb. We are then birthed into the world. We are then exposed to many different kinds of energies, and we spend a good portion of our life trying to find our happiness or our purpose, a return to that full and complete love, that highest vibration that we knew when we were formed, that we were made for. But we are conditioned by the world and by society that our happiness comes from achievements, whether it be good grades, making first chair in band, being named head cheerleader or homecoming queen. We also are taught to find it through external things like a nice car, a big home, a great vacation, a big old diamond ring. The truth is, none of that works because that feeling we are chasing, we are searching for, it is inside of us. Our own soul that was created from the source of God remembers the imprint of pure, unconditional love. Our soul that was created from the highest level of energy, it was created from nothing but unconditional love. The happiness or the purpose we are searching for is inside of us. It's a long, winding road to get back home to ourselves. The Sioux Indians are known to say that the longest journey is from the head to the heart. It's difficult to unlearn everything we've been taught, to look at and break down each and every limiting belief society has taught us, unlearning all of it and returning home to our soul, to God, to love. Only when we are able to fully love ourselves are we capable of truly loving others. Jesus was God manifested in human form. Jesus is a beautiful example of unconditional love. Jesus was not judgmental. Jesus did not operate from fear or shame or guilt. Jesus operated from a place of pure, unconditional love. Our purpose here on earth is to raise our vibration, to come into consciousness, to operate from a place of pure, unconditional love. Instead of chasing, we can rest because wholeness is waiting inside us, not hiding somewhere, not out there. But along life's journey, we've likely picked up some bad habits that influence our energy. Here's some things that can influence our vibrational energy. Environmental energy. The environments that we grow up in have a very big impact on our vibration. As children, we don't have a lot of choice in our environmental energy. As adults, however, we do. When you feel like you're losing your mind, I'm here to help you restore your soul. A few years ago, I woke up and felt like everything in my life was a lie. I didn't recognize myself or any of the people around me. For the first time in my life, I questioned everything I had ever been taught or told. I didn't know what was true anymore, and I felt like everything I knew was slipping away from me. I went through a complete dark night of the soul until I was forced by something much more powerful than me and my fears to stop running from myself and start facing the truth. That the pain in my life wasn't coming from the world around me, but from the pain inside me. I remember thinking, what if the cause of your pain and the cure for your pain is the same? You. That's what my program, The Path Back to You, is all about. Not starting over, but starting again on a path that will return you to yourself, a path that will heal and refine you, a path that will break you and make you whole. When searching for answers to what felt like an all at once, completely sudden, never ending list of questions with no answers, all I found was the advice just sit with yourself and heal. All the answers are inside of you. And I remember thinking, gee, thanks. That's helpful. I know I need to heal, and I'm willing and ready to do the work to do that, but how? Where do I begin? Well, it took some time, but after years of therapy, researching on my own, trial and error, mess ups and setbacks, I found my way back home, back to myself. In the path back to you, I share with you my own personal story of struggle and trauma as a sacred offering. My hope is that through my story, you can better see yourself. I share with you my darkest moments and the steps I took to find my light, the light I had dimmed for most of my life. Throughout all the heartache I've endured, I've finally found peace, and I want to share my roadmap with you. If any of this resonates with you, trust that this episode found you for a reason. Trust the divine intervention. Those brave enough to have embarked on a healing journey know how incredibly lonely and painful it is. I remember feeling completely isolated, like I didn't even belong in this world anymore. It was scary as hell. But I want you to know you are not alone. While I fully believe healing is a solo journey, I think it's totally okay to have a roadmap and a pathfinder who has gone before you to guide you as you return home to you. Join me on the path back to you. Click the link in the show notes or go to jessicazimmerman.com to learn more. And just for you, podcast listeners can get 15% off with code PATH15. That's PATH15. Imagine for a second energy as colors. If you saw people's energies as clearly as colors, you would be very discerning in where you spend your time. Let's say low vibrational people are walking through the world with a red ring of energy around them. And let's say high vibrational people have a bright yellow ring of energy around them. When you walk into a party, an event, meet a new person, if you were to see mostly red, you would turn around and you would leave. If you saw mostly yellow, you would feel comfortable to stay. Discernment. Why spend time around low vibrational people? You wouldn't. But as children, we don't always have the autonomy to choose that, or we're told, especially as women, to ignore our intuition to make other people more comfortable. It can be especially tricky in large groups because so many energies are present. That's why some people can become drained around large groups. They're more sensitive to the energies present. Energy is always looking to expand. So when you've decided to take an entirely new path, the universe rewarded it with momentum. Your energy expanded. This is why so many people find manifestation useful. You begin seeing beyond the realm, and your reality expands. Your walls drop. Which is why you're not only grateful, but you now experience fulfillment in new ways, and you crave more of it. Why? Energy is always looking to expand. It is your nature. When you decide to seek higher vibrations, you may be misunderstood, but you're not here to be understood. You're here to be in your purpose and in your truth. You are here to discern energies. You're here to be magnetic, to attract everything you desire. You are here to be in a state of surrender and flow. Anything that disrupts that is holding you back. Like energy attracts like energy. You know that saying that we are the 5 people we spend the most time with? Well, that's all energy. Who you have around you tells you exactly where you're at in your relationships, both who you attract and who you allow in your field. Look at who you're attracting and let that reveal the truth about your energy. Once you give someone access to you, you need to make it crystal clear what you require. Not expect, require. These are the guidelines to maintain access to me, to my energy. These are not expectations, these are requirements. You determine how people treat you. Make sure they treat you accordingly. When you raise your vibration, you are a whole vibe, and access to you is a privilege. If people knew how much inner work it took to cultivate the love and peace you've embodied within yourself, they would know access to you in any fashion is a privilege. Those who are genuinely and authentically and actively connected to God, the source of unconditional love, draw energy from that source. Those who are not have to draw energy from other people. Those are what we call energy vampires. Have you ever noticed that the further you get away from where large numbers of people live, the more beautiful the scenery? It's almost like people ruin things, and the lower vibrational ones, they will. That's why connecting with nature is so important. It lets you recalibrate your energy without anyone else's influence. If your own energy is aligned, but you're still going after people and goals based on old energy, don't be surprised when doors close. They're not missed opportunities, they're pivots, reminders for you to go deep. Remember your desires, dream bigger, get better. You've been asking for a better life for some time now. So only things that are in resonance with that renewed frequency will be able to match with you. This is a blessing. Your self-worth is elevating. Know what you deserve. We're done playing with the same old things. You did not come this far just to experience your old life all over again. When they can't touch who you've become, they try to dig up who you used to be. Keep growing. The hardest part about raising your vibration is that you lose people. Most people are operating at a low vibration. It takes incredible courage and bravery to choose to align, to choose to raise your vibration. This is free will. Everything is energy. Everyone is connected. So when you do the work to heal yourself, you really heal those around you. Your energy is a gift to the world, and a gift to yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today as we journey together on this path back to you. I hope what you heard resonated with you and you can take it with you into your week. If you're looking for more resources for the journey, you can visit jessicazimmerman.com. I'll see you right back here next week for our next leg of the journey.